Hi everybody. In our next case study, we are taking on the case of the Beagle Channel negotiations. And I wanted to help you walk through that in a series of 2 or 3 short videos as you read and deal with that. To remind you, our case activity is focusing in the discussion board. There is a discussion board, a discussion forum open for you with threads, and you are expected to post your comments there. First round is until Tuesday, March 23, and then the second round will take us to the end of the week until March 26. But a few things about the case itself and where I want you to start. I want to start by just looking at where is it and what are we really dealing with. And of course this is the United States, and to take us to this case of the Beagle Channel, we are going to the very tip of South America. All the way down here, close to the straits that separates Antarctica from Southern America, right? The two countries that are involved are Argentina, which is basically here. You can see more or less the border line over here. And on the west side, this is Chile, right? Now, they are, in this case, fighting over a very specific area or a very specific point in the Beagle Channel, which is right here. We'll get to it in a minute. The story starts when the Spanish left South America, and when they gave independence to the countries of South America. One thing they did in order to decide where the borders are is to go on the Andean mountain peaks and say, okay, we'll just go through, we'll take a line north to south that goes through all the peaks of the Andean mountains, and that's going to be the border between Argentina and Chile. Everything to the east is Argentina, everything to the west is Chile. And that worked fairly fine, and it's been holding on for many, many years now. Until you get here, down here, to the very tip toe, and where number one, there's no longer straight line of mountain peaks to follow. And number two, we have these water channels, these straits, this very narrow passage of water that are important for commerce and security of both Chile and Argentina. So now this area became somewhat contested. And then in 1881, the two countries sat down and negotiated an agreement that marked this line over here, saying that the border will go all the way to the Beagle Channel and then turn eastward, so Chile will have an outlet into the Atlantic Ocean from here. But that agreement, the 1881 agreement, had a line that said what happens with all those islands here. Some of those islands were named, but others were not, and were left under those general statements. One of those general statements was that all of the islands south of the line belong to Chile. But it wasn't clear, are we going south all the way east too? Or are we going south and at some point making a change and deciding to say over here, take another southern turn with the line. What ended up being contested because of that sentence are those 3 islands. Picton, Lennox, and Nueva But what's important to know about those 3 islands is that if we get as close as we can, you can probably see that they don't have a lot of infrastructure on them. They're mainly natural islands. They're at the very, very tiptoe of this operation, and they're at the very, very tiptoe of South America, and mostly their inhabitants were sheep. But still, the 2 countries almost went to war, sending military and mobilizing just in order to decide the fate of those 3 islands. And so the first question that I ask you to take on, and I hope that you'll choose to take on a little bit, is what's the point in that? Why are they fighting over, a bunch of rocks? Those are islands that don't have people living on, and that seems to be relatively not important. Yet, we see 2 countries, Chile and Argentina, willing to mobilize their forces and getting very, very close to going to war. And that's what the rest of the case is telling us about. So I'll be back with more questions and highlights about this case. But for now, I just wanted to set up the geographic setting and have you guys think about that question and the other questions that I posed on the discussion forum.